Welcome back to Smitty's Learning Room. Today we are up to video 2 of 4 for the Ottawa Charter. Last one we had a look at the benefits of partnerships for health promotion in relation to the Ottawa Charter. And today we're going to have a look at how health promotion based on the Ottawa Charter promotes social justice principles. So we know that the Ottawa Charter takes on a holistic view of health. So we know that it's a view of health that encompasses all aspects of health. And the Ottawa Charter obviously incorporates a range of dynamic approaches to research and sustainable solutions to overcome barriers to good health. Now, obviously, to do that, they need to apply the principles of social justice. Now, we know that the principles of social justice are equity, diversity, and supportive environments. Now, we know that these social justice principles empower individuals. Now, just a reminder, when we look at that word of empowerment of individuals, what does it mean? It's basically an opportunity for individuals to improve their health. So to participate in political, social and cultural processes to enable the individual to voice their own opinions, to make decisions and gain a sense of control over their life or their health. This impacts their health behaviour and health status. So we understand that those social justice principles improve the empowerment of individuals. So if we expand on this concept of the empowerment of individuals, we're looking at the fact that obviously individuals become more responsible for their health. And we know that each individual has the right to access good health despite their race, religion, culture, socioeconomic status, gender and location. Now obviously the Ottawa Charter addresses the need for equity and supports this concept of empowerment and social justice. It aims to empower the individual to become involved in actions and decisions that will impact on their health, and it obviously recognises the rights of each person's access to health, the resources and facilities. So the Ottawa Charter identifies that no matter how remote or rural someone is, that they should have access to healthcare of all types and of all facilities. So for example, this could include the availability of fresh fruit and vegetables at affordable prices, skills to make decisions about types of health services that could be used, counselling services for financial management, drug and alcohol issues, and to provide access to green spaces and recreational facilities. Now, diversity recognises and respects differences in race, religion, geographic location, age, gender, socioeconomic status and sexuality, as well as culture. So obviously, the Ottawa Charter identifies that all individuals need to have access to this, despite where they fall under that diverse region. So before we start having a look at how the social justice principles are identified directly in relation to the Ottawa Charter action areas, it's important to understand who is responsibility for health. So we know from having a look at healthcare in Australia that obviously schools and community groups, government, non-government organisations and international government organisations are all responsible for healthcare in Australia. And for each action area of the Ottawa Charter, we can critically analyse who has the major responsibility. Individuals, community groups or schools, non-government organisations, government and international organisations. And it can be that some of them have part responsibility. And this is mainly because of the context of the health promotion. So for example, the Australian government has responsibility for putting laws in place about smoking to decrease the effects of smoking on people's health. But it's up to local councils and governments to actually implement the laws and the standards within their councils. So for example, no smoking laws at local sporting grounds is up to the local community to deal with that. So we'll start by having a look at developing personal skills. Now remember, developing personal skills is about providing information about health and giving people the opportunity to continue to develop their personal skills to enable greater control over their own health. So this enables informed decision making, such as choices about food selections in supermarket, taking action after reading a health pamphlet in a medical centre. And the aim is to provide equal opportunity for all Australians to access and utilise health information and therefore enhance their health literacy. This means that if we provide health information in different languages and cultures and in different contexts, we can cater for different needs of a diverse range of populations and therefore increase the health outcomes for more people. So when we have a look at the social justice principles and how does it actually apply to developing personal skills, we know that it increases access to people's healthcare and to their health literacy and understanding. And by providing health information for a range of different languages and cultures, we know that we're obviously dealing with diversity there. And then obviously providing this information also helps create supportive environments for those diverse populations. So now we move on to creative supportive environments. And this involves encouraging and maintaining reciprocal relationships, so that is taking care of one another and the environment. And the greater support a person has to change health behaviours over time, the more likelihood there is a success of changing their health behaviours and improving their health. So having a look at this concept of we're taking care of each other within the community. So we've got increased support, which means that we've got an increased empowerment for individuals and an increase in health outcomes for that community. So having a look at access there, we've got more access for people to get health support to improve their health because of this diverse range of community groups that are available and local government support. So obviously, again, having a look at that, we've got access to health information and health services, and we've got that for a diverse range of community groups, and therefore we're providing an environment which is more supportive of promoting better health outcomes. So for example, attempting to quit smoking, lose weight, or embarking on a fitness program, support or community groups that encourage these and other health goals are providing supportive environments. And town planners, so local government, would be in charge of including walking paths, bike tracks and green spaces and recreational areas to try and promote the use of physical activity in their community, and which also contributes to social justice in relation to equity, because more people have access to free physical activity services that are going to improve their health. Moving on to strengthening community action. Now, strengthening community action is all about establishing self-help groups, encouraging social support and active participation in health-related matters. And it brings members of the community together to solve problems and attend to an individual's needs. So we know that if people access community health groups, they're going to have an increased empowerment of their own health. So access health literacy and health services and facilities means an increase in your health and empowerment to improve your health in the long run. Community action that enables people to advocate for their own health and well-being is catering for diversity. So, for example, local residents petitioning for improved public transport or improved medical services and facilities then goes towards the government, which will in turn hopefully look at the needs basis of that community and provides support and funding to improve these services and facilities. Some examples of cases where strengthening community action has been applied and having a look at communities rallying to get more support is for medical centres or for general practitioners in rural and remote areas, in particular through the flying doctor service home visits. We have a look at reorienting health services, and this means that reorienting the health sector so that health professionals look beyond a curative and clinical approaches to health and integrate health promotion into their work to address the overall needs of an individual. So we're looking at this concept of health professionals exploring diverse focus on healthcare to increase the support for lifestyle choices. So because of an increase in globalisation and an increase of empowerment for individuals, people are more likely to make changes themselves to their own healthcare to obviously prevent health issues later on in life. And because of this, health professionals need to start exploring options in which they can support individuals for this. So if we have an increase in these preventative services provided by communities and doctors and medical practitioners, we then have a population that's starting to get an increased knowledge of cultural diverse communities and how they operate. So that means that we can actually help a lot more communities improve their health and lifestyle choices because we have an understanding of what their specific needs are. Finally, we have a look at building healthy public policy. So basically legislating for improved health healthier environments, and more health-conscious goods and services. So, for example, more informative food labels, like the labels that you now see on McDonald's food wrapping and on the side of Domino's pizza boxes. The quality of food is improved. Occupational health and safety requirements in the workplace have increased and improved to suit more modern workplace environments. And there's an improved standard and variety of health services. And policy can also include things like the laws around safe bicycles use and the availability of unleaded petrol for drivers to use. Now, healthy public policy provides equity in health, because if we have an increase in the amount of policies that are being made around health decisions, we're having increased better health outcomes for all. So it's equitable health for all because there are policies in place to support good health for all Australians. Now, these policies ensure that there is an adequate minimum level for healthcare. For example, legislation that bans smoking in cars carrying children and laws making it illegal to leave babies, toddlers and children in cars unattended means that the aim is to ensure that there is at least an adequate level minimum when considering the care needed for all infants and children in these areas. So wrapping it up, having a look at building healthy public policy, putting these policies in place means that we have better access to facilities and services and healthcare for all Australians. They're diverse because these policies are aimed at all Australians, and obviously the concept of these policies is to actually build supportive environments which are supportive of improving health outcomes for all Australians. So by now, you should really have an understanding of these social justice principles of access, diversity and a supportive environment. And you should be able to analyse how the Ottawa Charter and the action areas actually address these social justice principles. Now, it might feel like that it's something that just keeps getting said to you over and over again, but it's something that's really important that you need to understand how the Ottawa Charter works and how these social justice principles are embedded throughout the Ottawa Charter action areas. Remember, there's still 2 videos to come in the Ottawa Charter series. The next 2 videos where we have a look at how the Ottawa Charter is actually used and how it's put in action, and we'll have a look at some specific examples of health promotion initiatives around the Ottawa Charter.